What's up? Happy holidays, everybody. It is the night after Christmas. Hope y'all had a very Merry Christmas and are looking forward to a Happy New Year. Thought I would hop on here and hang out for just a couple minutes, well, maybe upwards of an hour this evening, and show you guys a couple of new baits that I got in the mail just today from Discount Tackle. Placed a small little order, partly selfishly and partly selflessly. So I'll tell you more about it as I open the package. But looks like Riley's in here. How you doing, Riley? I am doing pretty well this evening. Thank you for asking. How are you? Did you have a Merry Christmas? We had a pretty fun, but obviously different Christmas this year, starting new traditions. My wife and I and my two daughters, we ordinarily would celebrate at my parents' house and have really our entire adult lives. And so even as our kids have been starting to grow up, we've been going over to my parents' house every year. But this year is a bit different, obviously with COVID restrictions, and then with my wife being pregnant, we just did not feel comfortable. Plus, both my brother and sister are married and kind of do a trade-off every year. So my brother goes to Miami every other year to visit his wife's family for Christmas time. And my sister, who got married last year, her husband is from here in Colorado, but they've decided to kind of switch families every other year as well. So they spent Christmas with his family and are headed up to the mountains. We're going to go up to the mountains tomorrow, do a little bit of skiing on Monday and Tuesday, and spend time with my sister and her husband as well. So hope you guys are doing well. Riley said, I'm doing good. Yes, it was a nice Christmas. Got my cast off. Now have a brace on for a month. Should be good to go. Right on. Hey, George, how you doing, man? Merry Christmas. So I'm going to hang out, give people just a minute or two to hop in here before I open this package for you. I'll give you a little bit of a hint and let you know that I purchased a couple jerkbaits and some of the new soft plastics from Z-Man, which have come out this year, were released at ICAST, and I've already gotten my hands on one of them right over my shoulder here, and now I got the new sizes. So it should be cool to show a side-by-side comparison, show you guys what it is, how I plan to use those baits. Riley, what are you doing? I feel like this is becoming a trend, and don't do that, you know? Thank you so much for the $3 donation. Very generous of you. Merry Christmas to you as well. But gosh, if you keep that up, I'm going to have to start sending you baits to to spend your money wisely and give it back to you. So thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. But you really don't need to do that. I thought it was over the top generous of you and William to do that last time. But I don't ask or expect anybody to make donations on these live streams. So thank you anyway. So yeah, again, I can't remember. You guys tell me real quick while it's just a few of us in here right now. Did I show you guys this bait the other night? This is the new Z-Man chatterbait called the Cross Eyes chatterbait. And I can't remember. I was thinking about it, but couldn't remember if I showed it to you guys at the tail end of the stream the other night or not. You tell me. If I didn't, I'll show it to you guys tonight. If I did, then I'll just kind of skip over it, and we don't need to worry about talking about it. But I think it's a pretty cool bait, and one that that I do plan to use a bit more, especially in the summer months next year and moving forward. I'm not quite sure how the weed guard will perform, but I do anticipate that it should do a good job and allow me to fish through heavier cover than would be standard for a normal chatterbait, if you will. So I did pick up a couple of these in the 1/2 ounce size in this month's Discount Tackle Unboxing. And yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. Standard chatterbait, but with a more jig head type of profile and a relatively heavy duty weed guard. So I got them in the 1/2 ounce, intend to use them. I will fish them like a jig and less like a swim jig as you would a typical chatterbait or bladed jig. So George, very generous of you to say so. Again, all I can do is thank Riley for being generous and giving money when I'm not asking for it. So who knows? Maybe someday in the future we'll set something up so that you know, if you guys feel so kind as to want to donate money, that there will be, you know, an incentive for you guys to do so. That you guys might be able to win an exclusive giveaway or get access to exclusive content or something like that. You know, I know a lot of people do Patreon and have you know, memberships on their channels here on YouTube, but again, Riley was the first person to donate any money to the channel the other night. Did so twice and has already done so tonight. So anyway, let's get right into it, because I did not give anybody a heads up tonight that I would be streaming. And so I don't know if anybody else is going to hop in here or not. But we've been in here for 5 going on 10 minutes. And let's just do it. Well, you're absolutely right about that, Riley. You made my day a couple nights ago, and you just made my day again by that small and unnecessary gesture. So, let me show you guys what I got in this tiny little package. One, I made the purchase because I saw these Z-Man baits were available, and two, because Ron Holly requested that I keep my eye out for a certain bait to purchase for him, and that he would pay me back if I did manage to get one. So I'll show you what that is here in a minute. Darren Wu in the building. What's up, Darren? How you doing, man? Merry Christmas to you. I think we all had a great Christmas. Thank you for asking. How about you? My daughters and I played a lot of piano Christmas carols and recorded them for my family that we couldn't celebrate in person with. Had a lot of fun doing that and establishing some new, you know, family traditions for Christmas. We went on a drive with some hot chocolate on Christmas Eve and to look at some special light displays around town. And then yesterday we just had a kind of leisurely day, a fancy breakfast and a fancy dinner, and spent a few hours opening presents and goofing around playing with them. Went outside and enjoyed the warm weather here in Colorado midday, and then had a Zoom family call in the afternoon with my siblings and my parents to talk about where we are donating some money through a charity fund that my dad started. So every year we talk about different organizations that kind of touch our heart, that motivate us to contribute and give away money to each year. So this year we focused on some organizations that are trying to make a direct impact on people who have been affected by COVID. Usually we like to give to repeat organizations that we've given to in the past, and to where we know exactly how far our money goes. We like to give to smaller organizations that are, you know, near and dear to our hearts, whether it's healthcare or family related or, you know, homeless, poverty, education, or, you know, other things of the sort. So we can talk more about that at another time, but hope you guys had a great Christmas yourselves. Looks like there's 6 people in here, and that is good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and open up this package for you. So first on the list, and you know, one of the main reasons that I made this purchase was for Ron Holly. He requested this size and color jackhammer chatterbait. This is the 3/8 ounce in the Heights Hot Craw. So I posted a picture on Instagram yesterday on Christmas of this bait because it's red and green. It's green pumpkin on top and kind of a standard red on bottom. It's not nearly as bright or orange as the Fire Craw jackhammer. Here's that Fire Craw. You can see that it is super bright, but the Heights Hot Craw is more of a standard green pumpkin and red. So both are excellent springtime baits, though this Heights Hot Craw has been arguably my most productive over the last 2 years in the pre-spawn. So George says, what online shop should I get some baits from? I got some money from my grandfather and I want to buy a couple things. Dude, Discount Tackle. Come on, man. Discount Tackle is where it's at. I have a relationship with them, so I am a little bit biased, but what you get from Discount Tackle is great customer service, fast shipping, and discounted prices on a ton of big manufacturers. Some of the top names in the industry. So this jackhammer chatterbait, for example, is a $16 bait, which is an expensive bladed jig. I am not going to deny that, but because of the deals that Discount Tackle can offer, I think I spent $12.79 on it, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, little things like that, you can save anywhere from 10 to 30% on a lot of different brands from Discount Tackle. And on the ones that you can't save money on, you know, it's just a mindset thing. You can use those savings that you got from other products to justify spending full price on other ones. You know, holiday sales are pretty much up at most places. Tackle Warehouse still has their, you know, 25 days of Christmas stuff going on. But to be honest, most of that stuff is extremely limited. And there's only a handful of different manufacturers that are offering deals right now. So, in my opinion, Discount Tackle, like 350 days out of the year, is the best place to shop online. So, hit me up after this or go to my Instagram page and click the link in my bio or send me an email, you know, on the side, and I will send you a link that you can use to shop there. I won't save you extra money, but it will show them that I referred you, and I will make a small commission off of that. So, you know, you mentioned earlier that you're looking for a way to support the channel and don't have super chat stuff set up. So that would be one way that you could hook me up without having to pay it out of your own pocket. Discount Tackle will hook me up with a small commission by being able to see that I provided you the link and you clicked through there to access their website and purchase stuff on there. So send me an email to hooksetsarefree18@gmail.com and I'll send you the link. Hope that answers your question, George. I don't have a code for you to enter while checking out. It's not going to save you more money. The prices that they have listed online are discounted already for the most part. Some products they can't discount because there are manufacturer advertised prices or minimum advertised prices. You know, some manufacturers like Megabass and Guggenbaits and Jackal and a handful of others don't let retailers discount their prices, but you're not ever going to be able to get those discounted anyway. So send me an email. I'll give you the link. You can click through there, and Discount Tackle has a way of tracking every time a unique visitor uses my link to go check out stuff on the website, and then also when a click through turns into a conversion and a purchase. So that is stuff that we track on a month-to-month basis, and something that I would greatly appreciate you doing for me. Looks like Simon is in the building. What's up, Simon? Merry Christmas, man. And almost Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday. And yeah, no, you're right. There are a lot of great online fishing stores, but like I said, I'm biased. I think Discount Tackle is a great place to shop, and you can save money there day in and day out, all year round. So um, I'll tell you the prices that I paid on these baits. I think almost all of them were discounted. So this is a Lucky Craft Pointer 100 deep diving jerk bait, and I will show you. I got a couple deep diving jerk baits in this package. So here's the standard Pointer 100. This is the Ghost Minnow color, and it is one of my favorites, especially for clear water. You know, the Pointer 100 is a staple jerkbait, a little bit more old school, but is definitely still in circulation and a go-to for a lot of anglers, especially in slightly warmer water. The loud noise that this thing puts out and the slightly wider, more erratic action is great for slightly warmer water. So when fish are feeding more actively, that is a killer bait to go with. But the standard Pointer 100 dives somewhere in that 3 to 5 foot range. So they do make a deep diver, which is this guy right here, which dives in the, say, 5 to 7 foot range. So I have one of these already in my box, but decided to add another. Now, the Pointer 100 jerkbaits, the Pointer series overall, they make them in like 5 different sizes. So they make them smaller than this in a 78 and a 65, and then they make them larger than this in like a 128 and a 158, I think. But this 100 size is, in my opinion, kind of the do-it-all best size for most applications. So it's a large enough bait, but not too big of a profile to turn away small fish, but big enough to attract the big ones. Now, like I said, this bait here will dive a few extra feet for you. So where the standard pointer will only go like 4 to 5 feet, this deeper diving one will go 6 or 7 feet at least on a long cast. So you get a little bit different shape of the bill here. It's got that wider, rounder bill. But I want to say that bait retails for like 16 bucks. And so they're just 10% off on Discount Tackle. But, you know, every dollar or two matters. So I spent $14.39 on that bait. And just picked up that one. Now, I did get 2 other jerk baits in this package. Terry Clowers, what's up, dude? You said have been ordering more from them. Tackle Warehouse, 25 days wasn't that great this year. I totally agree. Honestly, like I said a few minutes ago, the selection, the number of companies that are offering products during that sale are just kind of meh. Honestly, there's a handful that I'm happy about. You know, IMA in particular, and a couple of others, but it wasn't quite enough to get me excited. So I go out of my way to shop at Discount Tackle on a regular basis and recommend anytime I can that you guys do the same. So good to hear. Just know that for future reference, if you use my link, it is an affiliate link, won't save you extra money, but will give me a little bit of credit in recommending them to you guys, and will earn me a small commission for sending you their way. And they appreciate that, and I do too, just knowing that I'm doing a little bit of extra work for them and that the brand ambassador program is working. So George, okay, cool. Send that email my way, and I will hook you up with the link right after this. Simon, you got to get out of here. Simon says, new soft plastics on 6 cents. I'm about to get some. Yeah, man. I think those look pretty good. Some of them look better than others. I think the new whale swim bait looks good. I think the flush jerk bait looks pretty good. I forget what they call, you know, maybe the hog walla, if I'm not mistaken, is like their creature bait, or their brush hog style bait. Looks pretty good. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get the hog wallah or the flush, but that whale swim bait looks legit for sure. So I like that 6th Sense is generally putting out new products on a regular basis. And so far, I'm a fan of their soft plastics. So, you know, I can't complain. Okay, next up on the list, guys, is the Jackal Re-Range jerkbait. This is the 110 size. They make a 110 and a 130, and this is the medium range, MR, medium diving depth. You know, the standard Re-Range is actually a relatively shallow diving jerkbait, and it's got great action. Is pretty erratic. It has a very sophisticated magnetic weight transfer system that is almost impossible for me to show you without actually casting the bait. But it has a magnet right in the middle of the bait that will slide front to back on the cast, so you can cast this thing a mile. It already weighs a ½ ounce on its own, but this thing dives in the like 2 to 4 foot range. So it's a little bit shallow diving compared to most other jerkbaits on the market. But this year they did come out with this MR version of the Re-Range. So I decided to scoop up. Yes, George, when I get off this stream, I will reply to your email ASAP, okay? Maybe even while we're on the stream in a few minutes. But give me a couple minutes while I'm in the middle of talking about these two jerkbaits. So I picked up 2 of these baits, and these, like I said, Jackal is a manufacturer that actually has MAP prices, minimum advertised prices. Nowhere can discount these. So you do pay full no matter where you're buying these, but check this out. I mean, this is a $15 jerkbait, so it's not cheap, but it's also not that expensive for what it is. It's a relatively flat-sided jerkbait, and as is typical with, you know, most Japanese manufacturers, it comes with very, very high-quality hardware straight out of the package. So the split rings and the treble hooks do not need to be changed out whatsoever. And this bait sounds a bit louder than its shallow diving little brother. Let me just show you comparison. I can't get that other one back out, but listen to the standard Re-Range. It's pretty quiet. But this MR is actually quite a bit louder, so that's interesting. As you can see here, it's got that same body. The body's actually just a little bit longer, and that bill is the same shape, just a little bit longer as well. So I think on the package it said that this will allow the bait to run in the 4 to 7 foot range, if I'm not mistaken, 5 to 8 foot. I don't know that I fully believe that. It says it weighs 3/5 of an ounce, so you know, just a little over a ½ ounce, right about 16 grams. You can see this one has more of a translucent color pattern, so you can see inside the bait. You can see where that magnet is placed. I always screw this up. I feel like it's not quite getting it. Let me try and get this in view for you guys. So there's the magnet. It will slide back, and you can see there are a couple of small BBs right in this front chamber. Looks like maybe about 3 of them. And yeah, so these 2 colors here are called Ghost Wakasagi, and this one is called RT Perch. So very realistic perch pattern. I love that. I've made a point over the last year or so to really up my game in perch pattern baits, because a few of the bodies of water that I fish, to target smallmouth in particular, perch are one of the main forage species for the smallmouth. And I figure, what a better bait than, say, a swim bait or a jerk bait than to imitate a perch. So, anyway, as George is saying, everybody give it a like. There's 9 people in here, 10 thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Hope you're all having a great night. Aaron's Outdoors in here. What's up, dude? Do I know if Discount Tackle is going to have the new Z-Man EWG Ned heads? Of course they will. I don't think they have them in stock just yet. But yes, Discount Tackle and Z-Man have a very, very good relationship. And I've got a few Z-Man things here to show you guys right now. So, speaking of EWG heads, you guys may or may not be familiar with this old head. And this is the Finesse Bullets jig head. This is an EWG hook with a weighted shank on it. So it's got a bullet style head with some weight on the shank of the hook. That acts as a keel and as a keeper of sorts, and was designed for baits like the TRD Craws and the TRD Bugs, TRD Hogs, and you know, all of these baits. And I'll show you how it is rigged most appropriately, because it has that tiny little bend in the hook. You only want to go in just a little bit, okay? But I will mention, because it has the weight on the shank of the hook, you're going to want to use Elastec soft plastics with these hooks, because you have to pull it up over that weight. And so it really only works with Elastec stretchy plastic like this. If you try to do that with standard soft plastic, it is going to tear it the vast majority of the time, okay? So you're just going to pull it right up over that keeper, line it up, and Texas rig it like you would typically. Push it right back through the back of the bait, and then pull it and tuck it in to expose that thing. And take a look at this little bite-sized presentation. This thing is one of the best weedless Ned rigs on the market, straight up. And like I said, because it's got the weight on the shank there, this is going to rest on the weight. And those claws are going to stand straight up. So it's going to come through cover cleanly and then rest on bottom at an angle. And so in my opinion, this is one of the best Ned rig heads for cross style plastics. Now, if you're using a Finesse TRD or a worm of other sorts, then I think a standard Ned rig head, or even like an EWG Ned from Lifted Jigs, and now Owner and everyone else is making them. And Z-Man did just release one. I don't think they're widely available on the market just yet, but for cross style presentations, this Finesse Bullets jig head is the deal. Okay. Now let's get back into it. While we're on the topic, I will mention that Z-Man just released this year an upsized version of this exact rig. So instead of the Finesse Bullets, they've got the Pro Bullets jig heads. So I picked up a pack of these in green pumpkin. They come with a handful of different weight sizes and 2 different hook sizes. So this here is the 1/4 ounce 3/0 hook size. Yeah, and it shows it comes in a 1/8, a 3/16, a 1/4, and a 3/8, and a 3/0 or a 4/0 hook. So I decided to go with the kind of middle of the road, the 1/4 ounce and the 3/0. And as you can see, this is significantly larger. I want to say the original was either a size 1 or maybe a 1/0 in hook size. So same exact design, just much bigger and in heavier weights. And to go with it is the brand new Z-Man Pro Craws. So this is a bait that I think a lot of people have been requesting for a while. And this is a much more realistic crawfish imitator. And dang, I like it. It is bigger than I thought it would be. You know, it's hard to know what to expect, but I love that. This is 3.5 inches long, and this color is called the Deal. One of my favorite colors that Z-Man makes. It's like a green pumpkin back and a light blue on the belly. So I'll show you that this guy matches up fairly well. I think it could even take the 4/0 hook a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to rig this the exact same way. Go in the nose and out the chin just barely, you know. I'm going like 1/8 of an inch into the nose. And then again, the weight on here is a little bit too thick to use for standard soft plastics. But with Elastec, you can just pull that right up and over, no problem. And then pull it on to the keeper. Line that bad boy up in between the 3rd and 4th legs. And, oh, it actually has a hook slot on the back, and I didn't see that. So I'm going to try and make sure that I hit that hook slot. And that is nifty. You don't need to expose it like you did on the TRD craws because it has this hook slot. I love that. Cool little feature. Now I did not rig this perfectly straight, so you can see the bullet head is a little bit off center. But the cool thing about having a head like this and a soft plastic like this is that it's easy to just undo it and re-rig it so that it is just right. Now, some people don't think that's quite as important. Some people do. I'm in the camp of people who do. So I'm a little bit of a nitpicker and love to pay attention to detail. But look at the side-by-side comparison of these two rigs. I mean, good Lord. The TRD craws was an awesome bite-sized craw imitation, very realistic. And now this Pro Craws is not so bite-sized. It is very realistic in profile and in size. So some of the crawfish here in Colorado get to be even quite a bit bigger than this guy, the Pro Craws. But at 3.5 inches, I am loving that. So right away, I immediately regret only having gotten one package of these. And that was just me being cheap, honestly. I was prioritizing getting those jerkbaits and the chatterbait for Ron. And I was a little bit reluctant because, as you can see here, only 3 come in a package. So you pay a little over $1 per bait for these. I think I spent $3.59. And that's after the discount. So they retail at like $4 and, I don't know, and change for a pack of 3, which is relatively expensive. But compared to other baits that are on the market, honestly, you're gonna be able to catch 10, 20, 30 fish or more on one individual bait. So Z-Man soft plastic Elastec goes a long way, as you guys are probably familiar with. And I am going to stock up on those Pro Craws. That is sick. Wow. I don't know what you guys are saying in the comments, but let me see. Looks like Justin popped in here. Kylan Rowan. Don't recognize the name, but what's up, Kylan? How you doing? Terry Clower says, since you're into the JDM, have you seen the Geek Crack Bellows Gill? Yes, I have. And I watch some other YouTubers as well, so I know that Brian the Carpenter blew that up, you know, just a couple weeks ago. And Travis Manson from Smallmouth Crush was a little bit pissed about that. and that it's been a very popular bait this year. I've heard mixed reviews on G-Crack as a company, but I guess that's mostly just because their stuff is priced really expensive. And so I don't throw a lot of JDM soft plastics other than the widely available ones here in the US, like Kitech, for example. I've got a lot of Kitech directly behind me, up and down. I throw their swim baits, and I throw their creature baits. I throw their worms. So yes, I've definitely heard of G-Crack, but have not tried their soft plastics just yet. I heard they smell like popcorn and have kind of a funky, super oily coating on them, but I know that they catch fish well, and I do like the designs, with it being heavily ribbed, displacing a lot of water and putting out a bubble trail. So definitely intriguing, and I probably will give them a shot. But to be honest, it's tough to justify when you're spending like $2 per soft plastic to try out their stuff. So I feel mixed about it, Terry, but I probably will end up biting the bullet and giving them a shot here in 2021. So I've heard mostly good things, although Ben Kohler from the Hookup Tackle has some sort of deal where he's not a big fan of theirs, and I haven't quite figured that out. But I know a lot of people have had great success on those baits, mostly just because they're different, and they're new to the market. So who knows? In a few years from now, that company might be huge, or it might fade away just as quickly as it came onto the market. I couldn't tell you, but I haven't tried their hard baits, which I know that they've got a couple on the market now, a swim bait and a few others. But yes, I'm familiar with them, man. All right, guys. Now, this is the last thing in the package from Discount Tackle, and these are the new Z-Man goats. Okay, I showed you the baby goat a month or maybe even 2 months ago, because these were readily available quite a bit earlier than the standard sizes. But as I've told you guys before, this is essentially the same design and same type of bait as like the Rage Tail Menace Grub, okay? And I've showed you guys before, I throw that bait a lot. You know, in fact, I've got like a whole box of them just dedicated to that bait. So here are 6 different colors of the Rage Menace Grub, and I throw it a lot. I throw it on a Texas rig, I throw it on a chatterbait, I throw it on a swim jig, I throw it as a punch bait, throw it on a wobblehead. You can do kind of anything you want with it, but what's cool about Z-Man making their own is that it's a Lastec, so it's going to last quite a bit longer. It is still going to have that same kicking action, but because it's a Lastec and more buoyant, it's going to have a little bit more subtle of a kick than a Rage Tail product. And because it's buoyant, you'll be able to fish it differently. So in my opinion, this baby size makes a much better Ned rig bait than the standard baby Rage Menace Grub, which I also have, you know, a bunch of. I'm not going to pull them down, but in my baby jig trailers, or finesse jig trailers, I have that baby Rage Menace and use it a fair amount as well. But this baby goat is going to be awesome on a Ned rig, also on a finesse jig, and those will be the main 2 ways that I throw it. But what's extra cool is that Z-Man has now made readily available the standard size goat and the larger billy goat. So I don't know if I mentioned, but the baby goat is 3 inches in length. So it makes a perfect Ned rig bait. The goat, on the other hand, is 3.75 inches long. And this is the hot craw color. So this is going to pair up perfectly on the back of that Heights Hot Craw jackhammer. So I ended up getting 2 packs of these because I wanted one for myself, and I thought Ron might as well have one to go with that jackhammer that I bought him. So I decided that I'm not going to charge him for this bait right here. I'm going to throw it in. He asked me to keep an eye out for the Heights Hot Craw jackhammer chatterbait and a frog, the Teckle Sprinker in the bluegill color. Said he doesn't make a lot of online purchases, but that he would pay me back if I could find them in stock and buy them on his behalf. So I've done that with the jackhammer and still kind of keeping my eye out for an extra Sprinker frog. I've got one in my frog box, but don't want to send him a used frog. And quite honestly, selfishly, I like that color and don't want to give up the one that I have in that color. So I did tell him that I bought these and would throw that in just for the fun of it, because I think it's a great bait and one that would make an awesome trailer on the back of that jackhammer. So 3.75 inches. This thing's going to be quite a bit more versatile than its baby brother, the baby goat. I mean, look at that. From a profile standpoint, it is quite a bit larger. It's thicker, it's longer. It's going to do everything you want it to do. Same applications I just mentioned that I used the Rage Menace Grub for. So Texas rig, jig trailer, chatterbait trailer, swim jig trailer, flippin' bait because of its lack of appendages, wobblehead bait because it's got a kind of a flatter profile and that subtle kick. You could even use this as like a buzzing toad on the surface of the water. And yeah, there was one other application I was just thinking about that this bait will be awesome for, but it just escaped me. Maybe I'll remember it in a minute, but 3.75 inches. The last one is the largest, and this is the Billy Goat. So this guy is over 4 inches long. This is 4 1/4. And honestly, this guy's a beast. So this is the Hot Snakes color, and this is a great summertime color. It's got more of a watermelon or green pumpkin back, and then a little bit of a chartreusey belly with some purple flake in it. Let me see if I can get you to see that up close. But I love the Hot Snakes color. It's got green and purple flake in it. So let me show you the family side to side. Baby goat, goat, Billy goat. So the Billy goat, I'm going to use more as like just a wobblehead, a Texas rig, a flippin' bait, something a little bit larger profile. Whereas the goat, I will throw on the back of a jig, on the back of a bladed jig, on the back of a swim jig, in addition to more versatile applications like flipping, like on a wobblehead, and like as a buzz toad. But I think this Billy Goat is going to be better not on the rear of anything other than maybe like a buzz bait, but I like it. So I just see it slightly less versatile than the standard goat, but I think both are great baits. And like I said, I think the baby goat is going to be an awesome addition to the Ned Rig lineup of baits from Z-Man, and just one that's different, you know. So I'm surprised they don't call it the TRD goat, personally. But anyway, just like the Pro Craws, the Billy Goat comes in just a pack of 3 in a package. So not super cost effective, but again, you're only paying $4 a pack for them. So in my opinion, was definitely worth purchasing to see what they look like, how they feel in the hand, and what I see myself using them for. And I can tell you right now that George is not going to be the only one on Discount Tackle tonight adding stuff to his cart. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stock up on a few more colors in all 3 of these baits, from the Pro Craws to the goat to the billy goat. So don't be surprised if I show you in a week that I got more of the same. It just is what it is. I am in love with Z-Man. As you guys know, I've got loads of it. You know, I got chatterbait trailers in this guy. I've got finesse worms in this guy. And I've got another one of those that's filled with Ned rig baits, which I don't even know where it is right now. But, yeah, I've got probably upwards of 100 packs of Z-Man soft plastics. And most of the chatterbaits as well, if not all of them. And I'm a big fan of theirs. So let me catch up on these comments, because that is the end of that package. And I want to just hang out and chat for a little bit. We've been on for 45 minutes now. And want to be able to answer your guys' questions and chill for a few more minutes before I dip out of here. It is, you know, it's 10 p.m. here, not crazy late, but I don't know what it is about the holidays, about, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, but last night I passed out at like 8 p.m. We were watching a family movie. We ended up watching The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And, yeah, my daughters and my wife were having a ball watching it, and I passed out. And it was difficult to get me up after that. So, yeah, George, let me see if I can just quickly do this for you, okay? Hang tight for 1 second, guys, while I reply to George's email and give him the opportunity to do a little bit of shopping. I'm actually going to post this here in the live right now for you guys to see. If any of you guys want to click that link that I just put in the live chat, feel free to do so. That'll take you over to Discount Tackle. And we will be able to track those stats. Every time you guys click a link that I provide you, whether it's in the description of my video or here from the live chat or anywhere else, you will be able to help me and help Discount Tackle. They'll be able to see who I'm referring, how many people are clicking through my links, and how many people are making purchases through my referrals. So, again, I make a small commission. It is an affiliate link, but, you know, of course, you don't need to make a purchase. But even just clicking on my link helps a little bit for them to see that I'm making a difference and that people are listening when I speak about them and recommend them to you guys. So, everyone check out Discount Tackle. Looks like Russ is in the house. What's up, Russ? BJ, how you guys doing? Merry Christmas. Hope y'all are having a great night. Hope you guys had a great Christmas yesterday. And I appreciate you guys, you know, hopping in here for a few minutes, hanging out. Because, you know, it's always fun to get the crew together. You know, we're not a huge community here. Some channels are streaming with, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people. We usually have anywhere from 5 to 15 people in the house, in the chat, but it's always good vibes, and I appreciate you guys very much. Love the support. You know, we got 14 thumbs up. If you haven't already done that favor for me and hit the thumbs up button, please do that. And feel free to fire away any questions that you guys might have. Yeah, BJ, I didn't really get much for Christmas either. In fact, I haven't opened a single present just yet. But I did get a little bit of money from my grandma. And I think my parents told me that they are giving me some money as well. So, to be honest, all of the money that we received from family members and other people are going to go directly to baby funds and stuff for the house. So, seeing that my wife is 7 months pregnant, and time is ticking to her having the baby, it's not really appropriate for me to be buying new reels, big time purchases when it comes to gear. That said, I will continue to purchase lures and baits on a somewhat regular basis like I do. Some of that is covered, some of that is out of pocket, but it's an addiction that we've all got and can understand. And I pretty much filled out my arsenal when it comes to rod and reel combos last year and the year before. So I've got about 10 active combos that I use on a regular basis, and most of them are technique specific. So we've talked about that before, and probably will again soon in an upcoming stream, because I've moved the majority of my combos down here, and they are sitting just right around the corner there. And I've got a few, new baits tied on. So chatterbaits and jerkbaits, lipless crankbaits, things like that. Either things that I will fish this winter or first thing after ice out. So anyway, I'm happy to have gotten my hands on 3 deep diving jerkbaits this evening. Again, one is the Lucky Craft Pointer 100 Deep Diver in the Ghost Minnow color. Saved 10% on that on Discount Tackle. Got it for $14.39. And then 2 of these are the Jackal Re-Range 110 MR, which is the medium diving version of the Re-Range that goes just a little bit deeper, upwards of 8 feet deep. So, few baits that I didn't already have in my box, even though it is pretty full as it is. Here's my JDM jerkbait box. And so I'll put the deep diving Pointer 100 up here with its brother. I've got one in this bluegill pattern already. And then the Re-Range baits I've got in this area here. But the MRs won't fit in that area. So I'll either remove some of my huge Megabass Canadas and put them in there, or I'll try and jam them up here with the deep diving pointers, the Lucky Craft Stacy's, and the I'm a Flitz. We'll see. But anyway, pretty pumped to have those jerkbaits in my arsenal moving forward. And then those Z-Man soft plastics, man, I've been waiting for. So I'm one of those people, I'm sure you guys do this too, whether it's on Tackle Warehouse or otherwise. I do this on Discount Tackle for the most part. A couple times a week, I will just hop on the website and click the area on the homepage that says new arrivals to just see what they've gotten in the last week. And if there's anything fresh that catches my eye, anything that I know is new to the market, I will look there first, because they send out emails letting everybody know who's subscribed to their list, what is in that's new. And that stuff tends to sell out pretty quick, at least the good colors, and people are quick to take notice of what is there, especially when it's a discounted product. The Billy Goat and the Goat, some of these baits are brand new on the market, and you wouldn't be able to get them discounted anywhere other than Discount Tackle. So, yeah, I make a point to just always be checking. And, yeah, man. Yeah, Justin, don't get rid of your four-wheeler. Remember? Can't regret not getting the rifle. Well, I hear you, but, you are on your way when it comes to the four-wheeler, man. You're doing good work. So keep it up. And thank you very much, BJ. Justin says, I was wade fishing the river recently. River's the only thing not frozen. Yeah, same here right now. I went river fishing just 2 weeks ago on a day that we had slightly warmer weather. Didn't catch anything. I think the sun was a little bit too high. the weather conditions just weren't quite right for it. And I'm also still trying to learn this stretch on the South Platte River here in the Denver metro area. So unfortunately, the majority of my fishing is over until March. Like I've told you guys before, skiing is my second passion and what I do during the winter. So ice fishing is not really a ball game that I am in yet. I started fly fishing, and that is where the majority of my money is. I've got high quality waders, boots, and fly rods and reels. I've got just 2 combos, and yeah, I take my fly fishing seriously, but I don't do it all the time. I tend to go out maybe like a dozen times a year, so I fly fish about as much as I ski. I get out maybe 10 or 15 times a year and just try and make the most of it. Try and go to the highest quality spot that I can, usually somewhere that's familiar. But in the last handful of years, bass fishing has become kind of my first love. And so from spring to fall, all the way leading up to winter, I would say late November, early December is when our bodies of water ice up here in Colorado. So from December through somewhere in March, I don't really have the opportunity to fish unless I got into ice fishing. But I don't have the gear for it. I don't have the tent. I don't have the auger. I don't have the tip up or the rod and reel combo or the jigs and the baits. So it's a different ball game. I don't have the bibs either. Of course, I could wear my ski gear, but yeah, I would feel a little bit like a noob. And yeah, someday I will get into it. Perhaps next year. But my focus this winter is really on ice fishing, or on skiing, snow skiing. So I'm going up to Vail tomorrow morning with my family, and I'm going to be skiing on Monday and Tuesday of this week. That'll be days 4 and 5 for me this season, and I'm hopeful to get in 12 to 15 days this season, get kind of what is typical for a pretty healthy season for me. We're about 2 hours east of most of the major snow resorts here in Colorado, living in the Denver metro area. Most of the places you take I-70 west to the mountains. So Vail, Breckenridge, Copper, Winter Park, Keystone, all of those resorts are kind of in what is called Summit County in the same major area of the mountains in Colorado. Russ, I ski at Vail these days for the most part. My parents have a place in East Vail. As of, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago, they bought a place there. Growing up, my dad's dad had a place in Breckenridge. So that was my home mountain. And I ended up doing a ski bum year the year after I graduated college. So 10 years ago, at this exact time, I was living up in Breckenridge and skied about 100 days that season up at Breck. But since then, my home mountain has really been Vail. So I will ski, 80 to 90% of the time at Vail. But I skied Breckenridge last Friday, just 8 days ago. And like I said, all of those mountains that I rattled off, Keystone, Arapahoe Basin, Breckenridge, Copper, Winter Park, and Vail, and Beaver Creek, all within 45 minutes of each other, and are all roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours drive from where I live. So BJ says, man, I only got one fishing combo. Yeah, BJ, I wanted to get in touch with you. And, a couple of months ago, I had the thought to do this. It's complicated and difficult to ship rods in particular. So I don't know how I feel about that. But I do have an old reel that I might want to send you. And it's actually not that old. It was one of the first bait casting reels that I bought a couple of years ago. And I use it from time to time. It's a little bit large in the hand. I don't have very big hands. For some reason, I picture you having big hands, BJ. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have it spooled up with like either 15 or 20 pound fluorocarbon, and I use it for larger swim jigs and smaller swim baits. And I've got it paired up on a 7.6 heavy, a cheaper rod, but I would send it to you if I could ship it cheaply and safely, but that's the problem. I think I can send the reel to you pretty easily without it costing a ton of money, and without you having to spend any money either. And so if you could put that to use and get a relatively cheap rod to go with it, I know that you can get some rods for, 30 bucks or so, or if you wanted to step it up just a little bit, I think Abu Garcia makes the, in fact, I've got one of them. It's a $50 rod called the Vengeance. This guy right here. In fact, I think they sell it at Walmart, as well as most major retailers. So, you can get a bait casting rod for a reasonable price. You don't have to spend 100 or 150 or 200 bucks on a rod. In fact, most of my rods are kind of in that range of $100 to $200, but I do have one or two of these Vengeance rods and a couple of other cheap rods. The old Field and Stream Inferno, which I think is discounted or discontinued now. I don't know that you'd be able to find them, but I got a couple of those for like 30 bucks a pop a year ago. And so it's that 7.6 heavy Field and Stream Inferno. Field and Stream is like the in-house brand from Dick's Sporting Goods. And yeah, anyway, the reel is the Piscifon Torrent. So if you're interested in that, BJ, I'll send it to you. Send me an email or an Instagram DM. Hit me up and let's exchange contact information, and I'll send that your way. To be honest, there are some things that I own. There might be one or two spinning reels that don't get as much wear, as much usage these days. But that bait casting reel was one that I bought when I first started out, and I used it for about a season, but it's a little large for my hands. So if you don't mind giving it a go, it is in great shape. Doesn't need to be tuned up. Nothing's broken or anything like that. It's not an expensive reel, but it is legit. I think you'd be really happy with it. So, yeah, shoot me an email either at hooksetsorfree18@gmail.com or send me a direct message on Instagram and let me know how I can get in touch with you and what your shipping information is, and I'll try to get that out to you in the next couple of weeks. Riley says, unfortunately, Tyler, I checked through all the papers I have. Couldn't find the tracking number for your package. So I just have to keep you updated. Have you figured out what you want to do with those baits? The baits that you sent me the other night, Riley? No. Honestly, I'm in love with them. So I definitely haven't decided. This lipless crankbait and that 6 cents Curve 55. I took some pictures around the Christmas tree. Almost posted one on Instagram the other night. I don't know if I want to give any of these away or not. But if I'm not mistaken, you said that the other package was filled with baits that you were thinking that we would give away. Am I mistaken? Because I'm happy to give away one or two of these baits and talk in more detail about how we should run the giveaway and how I can help grow your Instagram page. because I want to do that. I want to help you out. I want to help all you guys out as much as possible, whenever possible. So, sorry, I wish I had more information to give you. But that said, I do have a couple of these quakes, and I have a handful of those curves. So I might swap out the curve for a different color and put that one in the giveaway, and still, you know, set the rules such that people have to follow you. Here it is. Guys, look at this bait that Riley sent me. This color is sick. And you guys can't quite see the green flake in there. It's really tough to pick up on camera. It was even tough to pick up on my phone camera as I was taking pictures by the Christmas tree. I really wanted that red and green to pop because it reminded me of Christmas. But as you guys know, I ended up posting the picture of that Heights Hot Craw jackhammer chatterbait. It really just shows as red and gold for the most part. So anyway, I love this color and kind of want to keep it for myself. Oh, geez, take it easy, Riley. That giveaway box had a Fire Craw jackhammer in there and some Strike King Craws and Z-Man stuff. Dang, why are you giving all that stuff away? Why aren't you keeping that for yourself? Or do you have other Fire Craw jackhammers yourself? I know that you had texted me when you found them in stock at a store and asked if you should buy them, and I think I generally said yes, but did you buy multiples? Did you buy them for yourself in addition to giving one away? Or were you just in another one of these generous moods, Riley? What's going on with you? By the way, to all of you who are in here right now and didn't already know, Riley has donated money to me via this YouTube channel on the live streams a few nights ago and tonight. Not a ton of money, but she has given money for no real reason other than just out of the goodness of her heart and feeling like being a G. So she and William each donated $2 the other night, and tonight she donated $3. Just saying Merry Christmas and giving a thumbs up, and I'm not sure what or why, but very, very nice, super kind thing of you to do, Riley, especially when you probably need the money as much or more than I do. So thank you again. So yeah, Riley and I are going to partner up and do a joint giveaway sometime soon to help grow her Instagram page. Now, that said, Riley needs to do a little bit more posting on Instagram if she's actually wanting to grow her page. We need to do a little bit of talking offline just about growth tactics, both on Instagram and YouTube. I know that you mentioned that Instagram is where you're more likely to post regularly and engage and create content than you are on YouTube, but that could change moving forward. But you definitely need to start posting more pictures. If I'm not mistaken, you've got like 10 pictures up right now, and you just posted a couple the other day, which are awesome photos, and I'd love to see more come from you. You know, it doesn't need to be pictures of you necessarily. If you guys notice on my Instagram page, I am in very few pictures. You know, it's more just about my passion for fishing, my passion for lures, and explaining what is what, why I like one thing over another, why I choose to use. It's the same stuff as what I do here on YouTube. You know, just kind of sharing my passion and the knowledge that I've been acquiring with you guys. So, no, Riley, you don't need to wait for tournament season. But yes, you can post pictures of baits, rods and reels. You know, you can repost pictures, whatever. But, you know, content and frequency are king when it comes to these social media platforms. So, you know, posting a picture here and there, you know, every month or two is not going to let you grow. It's not going to trigger the algorithm on these platforms to be able to start pushing your content out in and put it in front of people. So what I've learned is that you got to post at least once every day on Instagram if you want to grow. And honestly, you have to post upwards of 3 times a day, every day, if you want to grow quickly. And that's what I was doing some, you know, 6 or 8 months ago, was posting a lot. I don't know how many of you guys follow me on Instagram, but that's just it's part of the deal. You know, I was prioritizing growing a lot on that platform, but you know, it's more so about me sharing information, taking pictures, and teaching people what it is that I know, showing people what I use and what I like, and then also giving back, doing giveaways once a month to either give away unopened baits that I've acquired and either not used or purchased specifically to give away, or collected a handful of lures from my tackle box that are appropriate for the time of year to just give back and say these are extras that that I absolutely love and think you guys could put to good use. And so, anyway, Riley says, yeah, I picked up 6 fire craws. And if you want one at no cost, let me know. I'll send you a couple. Don't do that, Riley. Don't do that. I have one that's still rigged up that I used this spring. And, you know, I snagged it up and went swimming for it, retrieved it. And then I still have this one that I did not open that I was planning on giving away in the springtime, but chose not to. So if you're wanting to give away that one that you sent to me that's in the mail, we should do that. But honestly, I think we should probably wait till like February to do so, because those baits are going to get hot and people are going to start buying them up like crazy right before the pre-spawn happens. And during the pre-spawn, that might be one of like the best selling lures on the market. At least it was this past year. People were selling it secondhand for twice the retail value. I had a couple guys offer me, you know, $30 per bait to buy them. And because I had only gotten 2, I decided that I wasn't interested in getting rid of them. I didn't want to give them away. I didn't want to resell them. So I kept them for myself. I fished with one. And like I said, I lost it and then I got it back. So I actually took my clothes off and hopped in the water. Check out this pairing. This pairing is ideal. So this is the 3/8 ounce Fire Craw jackhammer with a 3.8 inch Kitech Crazy Flapper in the Delta red color. It's got that red back, just like the Fire Craw, and that orange belly, just like the Fire Craw. I mean, it matches up spot on. So as you can tell, I chipped off a fair amount of the paint on the head and on the blade just from using this bait. But I caught a handful of fish on it in the pre-spawn, and I enjoyed it. You know, I think there's a time and a place where a bait this bright is going to shine, and typically that is in cold water and in muddy or dirty water. You know, honestly, I would go to the Heights Hot Craw more frequently than I would the Fire Craw. And that's just my personal preference because I think it's a little bit more natural. You get that green pumpkin red combo versus the red and orange combo. And in my opinion, that's a water clarity situation where one is going to excel over the other. But I do like the matte black painted blade on the Fire Craw. But I also love the green pumpkin with a little bit of red splatter on the Heights Hawk Craw. Not sure if you guys can see that, but it's got a really cool blade on it. And yeah, it's wicked. So I think I'm going to dip out of here in a minute, guys. If you don't have any more questions for me. Corey says, I'm finally trying the baby goats and Ned rigs that you sent me, or that you sent on some trout tomorrow. Yeah, sweet. Haven't been fishing in a good while. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Corey. I hope you catch some. But if not, don't doubt the catchability that those baits have. Okay. This is a weird, tricky time of year where oftentimes, because of the cold water, fish are lethargic. Fish are not biting unless the weather conditions and the moon phase are just right. So if you don't catch them tomorrow, don't doubt. Just keep trying, because those baits are good, man. Darren says, Riley, I'm curious what brand of reels you use, or anyone recommends some brand of reels. Yeah, I use really three main manufacturers. I use Daiwa, Luz, and Shimano. And for the most part, those are the main ones that I would recommend. I also use a little bit from, what are they called, man? I should know. Quantum. So yeah, the Quantum Smoke S3 has been probably my most trusty bait casting reel over the last 3 seasons. Love it, but it retails at like $170. The other one that I've beat up pretty bad is this Luz just SLP. This is the Laser Pro, so it I think retails for more like $120. It's just gonna have a few subtle differences in the components compared to the standard LFS or SLP. I forget what it stands for. Super low profile is SLP, but LFS would be, I don't even know. But this is like a variation of the Luz $100 reel. And then I've got a couple of the reels that are just a step up from that. They are the Luz Custom Black reel. They've got the wind grips on them, like you'd see with like the Mach series of baits. And I've got a couple of, I have one of the Mach 2 reels that's green. This is on a Daiwa Tatula reel, and or rod rather. And this is the Daiwa Tatula reel on the Luz Custom Black rod. So I actually have those flip-flopped, but both of them are solid jerkbait setups. I just like this Daiwa Tatula SB reel for lighter weight baits. So I've got this small jerkbait. This is the dual hardcore minnow flat in the 95 size. This is a small little 3/8 ounce jerkbait. Whereas on the other setup that I just showed you, I've got you know, a Megabass Vision 110, which is more like a 1/2 ounce. So I'll throw that on this standard Luz Custom Black reel. But when it comes to reels, in my opinion, Daiwa and Shimano are going to make the highest quality stuff. They're Japanese manufacturers and pay a little bit closer attention to details in what they make. But like I said, the Quantum Smoke S3 has been killer for me. This was the reel that Kevin Van Dam actually designed a few years ago when he was still with Quantum. But because he's a longtime Strike King guy, and Strike King and Lose are now the same company, Lose bought out Strike King, it only made good business sense for KVD to switch over and become a Lose guy. So he's actually working on creating his own line of reels and rods from Lose. So that said, I will say that Lose makes good stuff, especially for the money, but it does not stand up quality-wise to what Daiwa and Shimano are making. That said, you can buy a Shimano or a Daiwa that are lower end, and they will feel a little bit more like a Lose, but it depends on what your budget is. So, you know, it's like Darren. It depends on what you're wanting to spend. If you want to stay in that, 80, 100, 150 price range, I think Lose is going to be your best bet. If you're willing to spend $150 to $200, then I would look hard at Daiwa and Shimano. Okay, and that's just me personally. No, Bass Pro makes good reels. Okay, because the Bass Pro, a lot of the Bass Pro reels are made by Daiwa actually. So, for example, when it comes to casting, the Bass Pro, the Pro Qualifier 2, I believe it's called, is a good reel. But at certain times of year, you can find it really cheap. So, Black Friday was one. And I'm not sure if this time of year you can find it on sale as well. But Bass Pro and Cabela's are those types of places where you can find their stuff discounted at certain times of the year. So yeah, BJ, same deal with spinning reels. I think Lose makes a decent product, but with spinning reels, one of those things that you want to do is go into a store, whether it's Bass Pro, Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields, whatever you have close by, and actually pick up a reel that's on one of those holders, and close your eyes when you reel it. You will be able to feel the gear, how smooth the reel is itself. Don't look at it, okay? And I know motivator for us, right? What the reel looks like and how it matches up with the rod and all that. But to be honest with you, when you're testing out a reel, feel how it reels, especially with a spinning reel. You will be able to feel, usually with a Lose reel, it's not going to be nearly as smooth as a Daiwa or a Shimano. So I've got a Shimano or a Daiwa. Let me show you. It's called an Exceller. This spinning combo here has been a beast for me since getting it like a year ago. And I've been very, very happy with it. This reel is called the Daiwa Exceller. And I want to say it retails at like $80. So it's definitely not expensive. Not super cheap either. And this rod is the St. Croix Triumph. So definitely not one of their higher end series of rods, but St. Croix makes some very sensitive, very high quality stuff. So this is just a 7-foot medium. Actually, this is a medium light, and it's made for lures weighted 1/8 to 1/2 an ounce. So I throw everything finesse on this setup right here. I throw my Ned rigs, I throw my shaky heads, throw my drop shots, I throw my lightweight jigs and mini spinner baits, inline spinners, tiny jerk baits, tiny crankbaits, kind of everything that I do with a spinning rod, I do on this 7-foot medium light. And this combo was, you know, full retail like 180 bucks. So not cheap, but also not expensive when you're talking about a full combo. Now I do have a loose combo. It's like that Laser Pro reel that I showed you. This is like the $120 bait casting reel. It's called like the, I don't know, laser something combo. And I bought that. I think retails for 100 bucks as the combo, the rod and reel. And I got it discounted at the right time of year and bought the two for like 50 bucks. And to be honest, it has stood the test of time. It still works, but it is not super smooth. It makes a big difference to use and try out stuff before you use it. So there are a few things that I look for, especially in a spinning setup. You know, one is opening and closing the bail, whether it makes noise. You'll notice when you open and close the bail of a Shimano, and most brands actually, it clicks. When you open it, listen to this. Nothing there, okay? So that's one thing in Daiwas is that they make sturdy bails. So this bail is not chintzy at all. A lot of manufacturers make bails that are really lightweight and feel like you could bend it just by like putting your bait on that bail. This is not the case with a Daiwa, okay? So, you know, the quality of the bail itself, the noise that it makes when you open and close the bail, and then also how the drag sounds. That's just one thing that you want to pay attention to. That's personal preference, right? Some people care about that, some people don't. The smoothness of the drag, you know, how it sounds when you adjust the drag, and how it sounds when you actually pull drag, because that's a big part of the experience. When you're fishing with a spinning rod and reel combo, how does it feel when you're opening the bail every time you cast? How does it feel to close the bail? Does it feel like things are breaking down or not? And then when you're reeling, can you hear the reel itself? Like, is it grinding or not? Does it feel super smooth or not? And when you set the hook and a fish takes drag, do you like the way that sounds? Does it pull smoothly, or does it tighten too easily? Little details like that go a long way. And you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. You know, like high-end Shimano reels, you can easily spend $200 or $300 on a spinning reel itself. And then you can spend as much or more on a rod. So, you know, I've spent less than $200 for the combo here. This is like a, I wouldn't quite call it a budget combo, but it's flirting with that. And it has done me quite well. So I went out of my way to really shop around and find what I liked when it came to this combo. And, you know, I took probably a month or so to make the purchase last year. Yeah, no worries. That's stuff that we can talk about another time, BJ. Same goes for casting setups. You know, you want to pay attention to how it feels when you click the thumb bar and you engage it. Sometimes lose can be a little bit soft with that. When you engage and then click it back in when you start reeling, sometimes that can get loose, especially over time. And so with other manufacturers like Daiwa, for example, I don't know where I put that one, but that is one that is not, like, for the most part, Daiwa and Shimano, they take a little bit more force to re-engage. After you've clicked the thumb bar and you start reeling, you have to use more force. And so you know it's a little bit more sturdy. It's more well made. It's not going to trip out on you. Line isn't going to slip out. You know, drag is one thing that's a little bit important. The number of ball bearings in the reel itself are important. The braking system and whether it's external or centrifugal is something that's a little bit important. But other little things about whether the drag star clicks or not is personal preference. Also, the spool tension knob might click sometimes. So there's little details to pay attention to when it comes to reels. Also with rods, you want to actually be able to hold the rod in hand, feel how light it is versus not. I've noticed the new Shimano SLX rods are actually really lightweight and have caught my eye. I'm tempted to get one. I have an SLX reel, which in my opinion fishes a lot like, you know, a middle of the road lose reel. I think it's decent, but it's definitely not like standard Shimano quality. I have some higher end, like a Shimano Tranx reel that I use for swim baits, and it's a little bit more built like that Daiwa Tatula SV that I have that jerkbait on, which just fishes a lot higher end. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna dip out of here. I'm sorry, we've been on here a long time, and I've got something to do before 11 o'clock, so I want to get out of here. And I just, you know, I hope you guys have an awesome night, great rest of your weekend. And if I don't see you before New Year's, I hope you have an awesome New Year's Eve. My wife is working, I don't know when, next Thursday or Friday. So I will probably see you next time she's working. And let me know if you guys have any suggestions on topics that you want to discuss next time. But thank you so much for hanging out tonight. It's been fun. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button, do me that favor. And I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.